Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing you a quick day 1 update on my Poisonous Concoction Pathfinder. I'll be walking through my early impressions of the League mechanic, my campaign experience, and finally I'll also dive into my day 1 farming strategy and go over my current gear and passive tree at the end of the video. Alright, let's get into it. So first things first, this League start has been an absolute blast. Maybe it's just the hype after a long break between leagues, but I genuinely think this has been one of the smoothest launches I've had in a long time. There were no crashes, no lag spikes, and the queue was pretty quick as well. So just smooth gameplay right out the gate. Massive shout out to GGG on that one. I think they really nailed the technical side this time. Now as for the build, I went with Poisonous Concoction Pathfinder because it's such a stress-free league starter, honestly. You don't have to worry about weapons for scaling your damage, and your flask upgrades are your biggest concern. Once I grabbed a pair of Embalmer gloves for the Pseudo 5 link, it was just smooth sailing from then on. As for the League mechanic, the Mercenary system is definitely no joke. I've had a few campaign deaths thanks to the infamous Mercenaries. Those are the ones with the juiced up gear and unique item, and yeah, they hurt pretty bad. I wouldn't say they're overtuned at this point, but if your resist uncapped or your gear is scuffed, you're definitely going to feel it. One thing worth noting is that your high mercenaries actually count as an extra party member, as GGG mentioned this in the reveal. With the mercenary beside you, mobs get tankier, they hit harder, and your clear speed drops noticeably, at least for me. I found myself skipping mercenary hires entirely once I realized this, and they're also not super tanky either, and reviving them costs a fair bit of gold. So if you're starting out, I would suggest to exile them or just to loot their gear. Some of the upgrades I found from them were actually really solid, and by the time I killed Kitava around level 65, I felt pretty geared. Now I want to also briefly go over my day 1 farming method. Usually I would just run Merc Lab repeatedly until I roll a PConc or Bouncing Gem. But I wanted to switch things up this time around, so I went with Heist. Now I know Heist isn't everyone's favorite, and it's usually not mine either, but man, it delivers when it comes to early chaos. I set myself a timer for 1 hour, and just by the end of it, I pulled in around 50 to 60 chaos, give or take. This was a mix of raw currency drops from chests and also from the good old chaos recipe. It was definitely consistent, it was fast, and more importantly, it gave me the capital I needed to buy my PConc of Bouncing Gem. So I bought it at 23 chaos, and honestly, I think this is the move if you're in Trade League and you don't want to rely on RNG or just endless gem rolling from running Merc Lab. Now, if you're curious about optimizing your heist farming, I would definitely recommend checking out Anime Princess guide on it. He just uploaded one recently, which is super detailed and definitely helped me hit the ground running. Alright, so jumping into the guide and my item progression so far. Basically, we start off with Spectre Throw from level 1 to 12, and then at level 12, we equip Poisonous Concoction, which basically carried me all the way up till the end of Act 10. That was when I started farming Heist with it and switched to Poisonous Concoction when I was finally able to purchase it. So really simple progression. You don't need a weapon for Poisonous Concoction, which is again why it's so easy to scale at a league start. All you have to do is make sure you upgrade your flask to have as much life recovery as possible. So ideally something like that, 3864. And this is not even maxed out yet because you can quality it, you can even get a higher roll on it. But essentially you want over 4,000 life over of recovery, and that scales your damage. Now we are a poison build, so just make sure you have enough poison chance on the tree. As you can see, this is what the tree looks like. We basically start off here, come down here to grab some flask notes here, mana. Down here, these notes give you a lot of life and flask recovery. And then early on, we took Precise Technique because our accuracy is higher than our life. This gives us 40% more damage for our regular Poisonous Concoction. But eventually, once you swap to Bouncing, you are full poison, so you can remove that. And then we're going to grab these life notes here. This note here is just for phasing on kill. These poison cluster here is pretty good. And then this is what the tree looks like. It's a pretty standard tree, and there's a lot of guides out there, so I'm not going to go too much into detail. And as for items, again, those mercenaries drop a bunch of good items. Everything here is looted from them, like this helm right here, this chest. Rings have nice resist, life attributes, life resist. This one has dot multi on it with 100 life. This shield is mainly just a cap rest, probably my next upgrade. This belt is also pretty nice. And finally my boots. So these are all from the mercenaries, so definitely make sure to check their gear when you're leveling through the campaign. And finally, I bought this for I think 3 chaos. It's pretty much my pseudo 5 link. I think it should be able to carry me up all the way to raid maps before I get a upgrade on my chest or 5 link, something like that. And then flasks, I'm probably going to swap them out eventually. This is what my defenses look like. Suppression is 90, but we have lucky suppression from here. So pretty much suppress cap resist except for coal. Chaos resist is surprisingly high as well. So pretty tanky overall. And again, this character has died 10 times, which is quite a lot, I know, but I'm still trying to optimize the gear, and a lot of the death were from those mercenaries. So hope this video helped you out. I'll probably post an update once I enter raid maps, and yep. Bye guys.